Let's take a look at the newspapers now.
I know, let's do that.
Yeah, as we try not to focus on the tennis.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out. We're watching Alcaraz playing Hanfman, so
yeah. So,
okay.
The newspapers. Here's Business Day. Let's take a look at what's making headlines there. All right, so fossil fuels feast on 110 billion rand in subsidies. Now, support is triple that of 2018, and it forms the bulk of all state subsidies, says Canadian body. South Africa spent nearly 200 billion rand on energy subsidies in 2025, with most of it going to fossil fuels, slowing down the country's climate goals. A picture there of the French President Emmanuel Macron attending the 56th annual World Economic Forum meeting in Davos in Switzerland yesterday. Macron said that Europe will not give in to bullies or be intimidated, as he launched a scathing criticism of US President Donald Trump's threat to impose steep tariffs on Europe, and it does not let him take over Greenland. And also the Institute is urging South Africa to reform its energy regimes to align with the country's just transition goals. Speaking to the fossil fuel situation, City Power seeks control over the Calvin plant. And the top there, just a quick one, governance, above inflation public office pay hikes. That one's getting quite a bit of traction. Escalation, Europe scrambles as Trump doubles down on Greenland. And Pepco expands through acquisitions but warns on risks. And also slow intentional travel finds home on Dolphin Coast.
All right, the next one is the Daily Dispatch, and the Daily Dispatch leading with pupils forced to compete for seats as overcrowding hits Eastern Cape schools. Class with nearly 90 pupils asks public protector for help. Goodness gracious, it's physically impossible to do that. A grade 11 pupil revealed that her class had 89 pupils in 2025, forcing some to stand or listen through the windows and doors. Gosh, okay, right. So please, something's got to happen there. Outpouring of grief after teacher dies in classroom. This is in East London. Education community is mourning the death of Delicia van der Gajlem, who's a grade 7 teacher and head of the senior phase at Arcadia Primary School. That's a sad story there, and obviously really hitting the East London community hard there. And then the beautiful photo of my favorite thing in the world, the Northern Lights, and absolutely magnificent. The night glow, that's the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights, illuminating the sky over northern Germany. This was on Monday night, so isn't that just stunning? Other stories, Hudson Park Sport hard hit by reservoir leak, and Renault Duster proves tough on the road. There you go. Okay, that's some of the stories in the Daily Dispatch.
All right, let's move to the Witness this morning. Kwasi Zabantu mission embroiled in yet another sexual abuse scandal. Now, KwaZulu-Natal's Kwasi Zabantu mission in Kranskop is once again under public scrutiny after a video showing a woman confronting a pastor who she alleges sexually abused her went viral on social media. And the mission has several pastors who rotate every Sunday. Also, their farmers told to shut down FMD disinfection point, and the dairy farmers in the Midlands say that they've been instructed to shut down a foot and mouth disease disinfection point in Karkloof Road outside Howick due to a lack of authorization. Midlands artists step in to raise FMD awareness on that story as well. And driver to face 12 culpable homicide charges. That's, of course, the driver of that fatal crash that took place in the Vaal on Monday.
Okay, on to the next paper, the Cape Argus, and Cape Argus leading with call for emergency measures against violence. Premier to meet the police minister. This is in response to mass shootings linked to gang violence and extortion. Civil rights organizations and political parties are calling for a provincial state of disaster. That's lots of violence happening in the Cape, and it's just, a situation that needs desperate help right now. Knysna faces severe water crisis as Akkerkloof Dam levels drop, and I mean, this is that countdown to day zero. They say there's only 9 days left, 8 to 9 days left of water That's what they're saying at the moment. The garden roots, glitzy seaside jewel. We're talking about Knysna, so a very desperate story there. On the front page, that photograph is a lovely one of Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis presenting the city's highest civic honor to David Kramer and the late Talib Peterson during a ceremony at the City Hall. And Peterson's award was accepted by his daughter Jawahir, Fatima and Aisha. So that's a lovely story to tell over there. Okay, and that's where I'll leave it for the Cape Argus this morning.
The Sowetan leading with, and this is quite a story, a Zama Zama terror, 600 flee homes. Now, residents forced to seek refuge at a community hall due to gun violence and alleged extortion by illegal mining gangs. And they shoot people in the streets and go into their homes to rob them of their money, says the displaced homeowner. And this, of course, with a picture there showing some of the residents of Sporong informal settlement at the Randgate Hall, where they've been accommodated since fleeing their homes because of violence and intimidation from Zama Zamas. And of course, crime intelligence infiltrated IPID. Some of the testimony from Robert McBride before Parliament's ad hoc committee yesterday. Cheating wife forfeits share of hubby's pension benefit. And meet the new rom-com It Girl, Katlego Lebogang. Those some of the stories they covered today. Right, let's take a look at the rest of the papers with some music.